This is my recap of The Private Lives of Nashville Wives, Season 1, Episode 3, Behind Closed Doors. So 2 days ago I went to the dermatologist, and right now my face is rough and is peeling, and I'm sort of like a snake that's losing its old skin and a new shiny skin's about to appear. So please ignore this. I tried to put on more eye makeup and it just all went away, and mostly I'm just a mess. So this episode opens with a party and closes with a party, or rather a lunch and closes with a party. And in between that we see a large number of scenes between two characters that establish three main storylines. So rather than talk about every single scene, I decided to instead describe the opening and closing and then just talk about the three storylines that kind of move through the episode. So we open up with Jenny, Erika, and Anna having lunch. So last week we saw the girls' party. We saw Jenny and Anna having a real problem with Erika's girls' party. They were upset that she drank wine instead of taking shots and that she didn't hula hoop, and they decided that they should sit down with her and talk to her. And they sort of insinuated they were going to tell her that she's boring. First off, if you ever think I'm boring, you don't need to take me out to lunch to tell me. You just need to leave me alone. I don't know who would react well to that situation. But it's clear to me that Jenny has a real problem with Erika. She doesn't like her, she thinks she's boring, and it just really is kind of like picking on her. Which is a shame, because I like Jenny in every single scene except when she's talking to or about Erika. I don't know whether she thinks it makes good TV or whether she just is making stuff up about Erika because she basically doesn't like her. I don't know, but I have no interest in it. So the first of the three storylines that moves through the episode is Jenny and her work / role as a mother. So she works for Living Social. She says that she travels every week. Her husband is the primary caregiver to their child. And he's really pushing her husband is pushing her to have a second child, and she's got a lot of mommy guilt, as she describes it. And she meets with Cassie at one point in the episode to work out, and they discuss, her concerns, and she herself, Jenny, is adopted, and they're considering adoption for a second child. I love the storyline. I think it's really genuine. I appreciate that she is a hard worker. I can relate to that because if my husband and I had our way, I would make a ton of money doing something in the entertainment business that I love. And he would stay at home and we'd have a ton of kids, and he'd be like a house dad and he'd just hang out with the kids all the time. And he thinks that'd be the coolest thing in the world. Well, we love our life and we don't have any problems with it, but he would totally do that. That's something he'd be happy with. And I would personally find a lot of fulfillment in working the way that Jenny does. And so I'm really bummed out about this whole Erika, Jenny storyline that they're pushing, because I don't really have any interest in that. And to me it was strange because Jenny kind of gave Erika a hard time about Erika wanting to go back to work. But Jenny should really understand that. She finds a lot of satisfaction in her work, so you would think that she would understand why Erika wants to work as well. So I kind of find this all weird. Speaking of Erika, that's kind of the second storyline, which is Erika getting back to work. And the vehicle for this episode is her headshots. So she's talking to her husband about getting these headshots, and then she's going to the photo shoot and getting them, and she's just really anxious. She's really kind of on edge. She's nitpicking everything. I have to admit that sometimes she does kind of set my teeth on edge, but I also think that there are many things that she does that I can relate to. I'm also very tightly wound. I can be a catastrophizer. I can be kind of, I don't know. I can be very much like her. I'll just say I can talk a lot, as evidenced by this. Hey, dog. And so I can relate to her, but sometimes that means that she also annoys me. But she gets back her pictures and she's really unhappy with them, and I don't really understand why. I think that what this is a representative of the fact that she is getting back into a brutal industry. This whole entertainment / Hollywood, you will never be young enough, you will never be thin enough, you will never be pretty enough. I mean, that's just how it is. And it only gets worse. Every day that passes, you're that much older, and that much, and that much of your looks kind of going. I mean, that's just how it is. And if you go into acting or entertainment, you just have to kind of accept that that's the demons of the industry. And I think that's part of what she's struggling with. But that's just a guess. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know her personally. She may feel totally differently. But that is one guess that I have, is that seeing those pictures and realizing that she looks a little different than she did last time she acted might be what is upsetting her. Just a guess. Now, the third storyline that we saw in this episode was Sarah, her career she's trying to build, and apparently her marital problems. We haven't really seen these marital problems yet, but they've been hinted at. So, for instance, Betty comes over and hangs out with her, and Betty talks a lot about how lonely Sarah is and how, Dallas isn't there. And I mean, when they were together talking about music, they being Sarah and Dallas, I didn't see any problems there, and they bought a beach house together and they're getting it designed. I guess it's in Florida. I don't know exactly how far away that is from them in terms of, like, does he fly or drive, or how big of a deal is it when he's gone. But the last event of this entire episode was this big party at Sarah's house, and Dallas is gone at the beach house at that time. And they're talking about how lonely she is, how hard it is, and then they bring up as a group the topic of mistresses, which could be foreshadowing. I don't really know. But Anna and Betty specifically talk about how, that's really common because they're Latin, they're used to it, everybody has a mistress, and Erika kind of pleads the fifth. I was with Cassie, though. Cassie was over there and was like, we're Christian, we try to walk the walk. That is not a part of our marriage. And Cassie, I am with you on that. That is how our marriage works. Their mistresses are no part. That is not part of the deal. It's not what I signed up for. My husband knows it, knows I would shoot him dead. I mean, if anything ever happens, this isn't a confession, but that is not a part of the rules that we have set up for our marriage. There is no other third person. This is a commitment between him and I, and the same is true both ways. He doesn't flirt with women, and I don't flirt with men. That's just not part of what is accepted in our marriage. And I was kind of surprised that everyone was so open, because now I'm thinking, does everybody but Cassie's husband, are they all sleeping around? Is that what they kind of hinted at? So that kind of threw me for a loop, and I kind of want to know more. Like, I want them to clarify what they were saying. So overall, I consider it to be a good episode. I could really do with less of the unnecessary tension between Jenny and Erika. They don't all have to get along in my mind, but it just seems to be this is a forced issue. So anyway, I will see you guys next week.